You would think that when you hear, oh, a mission trip to Panama, that you're going to be on these beautiful, beautiful white beaches. The Caribbean is going to be lapping at your feet.
I actually Googled images before I went on the trip because I was like, I'm kind of curious, where am I going? And of course there are pictures of beautiful white sandy beaches with the palm trees and the water's crystal clear. And don't get me wrong, when we went it was absolutely gorgeous, but those pictures were also very misleading.
You climb off the boat and you see grass huts. And you sort of feel like maybe you're back in Jamestown or something like that. There's dirt floors.
No air conditioning, no pavement of any kind.
And we slept in hammocks. And we would sleep each night, and we learned how to handle the heat by what we would do is we learned how to swing in our hammocks, and as we would feel the breeze from the swinging, it would help us fall asleep.
We lived in their culture. We weren't just, visiting, but in Panama we were immersed in it. And we were a part of it, and they incorporated us in their lives.
It was literally something out of like a National Geographic magazine, no joke. I brought with me a Spanish Bible that I borrowed from a family friend. And before I packed the Bible, inside of it was a pamphlet for a Spanish church. I was like, maybe I should take this out. Like, something told me, no, just leave it in there. So we get to the Kuna Island, Alidup, and I give the Bible to Pastor Randy. He was looking through it, preparing for that day that we would say the sinner's prayer with the children. And he was like, Katie, you won't believe what I found. And I was like, what, Randy? Like, what? The sinner's prayer is translated in Spanish already, and they'll be able to say the prayer in a language that they understand. I was just shocked because I was like, that was totally a God thing. And so something that I didn't think was even going to be useful was used in a major way.
And after we shared the gospel and used an EvangeCube to show them with pictures what the gospel story is, we had 17 young people and children from the ages 8 up accept Christ, which was very exciting. Here's another way that I think the Lord worked through this trip and matching us with this island and this pastor. Pastor Moises was a layman who had just started pastoring this small mission church. There were probably 25 or 30 in this small church, and he said, Pastor, he said, I have some young women in my church who also need to be baptized. Would you baptize them with me tomorrow? I said, sure. I've been on many mission trips. I've never gotten to baptize people.
I've seen a lot of baptisms because I've been in church since I was 2 weeks old, but the baptism in the ocean was incredible.
There's just so many kids, they were in their white shirts and they just all looked very uniform and excited, and so they would walk through the water and get dunked and just instant smiles on their faces, and they'd run back to their friends, and it was just such a celebration, and it just stands out as the God moment of the whole trip.
The sun peeking through clouds. There were big clouds, and then there were moments in which you had brilliant sunlight. You could see like diamonds sparkling on the water. They would come up, and you've never seen such applause and jumping up and down on the shore. We couldn't have been happier. You don't need warm water. You don't need organ music. You need the presence of God. And He was there, and it was wonderful. It was a great experience.
It was just a really awesome experience, especially after everything with the Spanish Bible and the pamphlet that I almost took out. It just, everything connected and led up to this moment, that this was the thing that we came to do, was to baptize these children and bring them to Christ.
Going on mission trips is extremely important because it's how it is around you in your small area, but to explore other parts of the world, how other people live in other cultures, like Panama especially, it was so drastic from ours. It just teaches you that there's so much more out there and so many more people to tell about God.
So much that you can do, that you can join in what God's doing. I mean, we didn't really do anything that hasn't been done before. But God uses it in an incredible way. I can't help crying because I just want to get back there.
Doing missions is important for a congregation today because we often think of mission work as giving money to let someone else go and do things. But what's so great about these partnerships is that we have opportunities to go as volunteers and be the hands and feet of Christ ourselves.